The dark web is an isolated part of the internet where various unlawful activities happen. To access the dark web, you need to have a software called the Onion Router. This software makes your presence on the internet anonymous and almost always untraceable, which is why many governments consider it extremely dangerous. Although the dark web can be used for good deeds, like discussing major country issues governments don't normally allow, most people use it for very, very bad things. But before we get to the nefarious activities of the dark web, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. The hidden web. The dark web, otherwise known as the hidden web, is a hard-to-access but integral part of the internet. Most people are familiar with the deep web, which can be used to dig out things you wouldn't be able to find through normal web browsing. But the dark web provides an entirely different experience. It keeps your actions anonymous while keeping you extremely hard to find, which is more than appealing to criminals across the globe. It's full of criminal activity. The majority of illegal activities criminals once did out in the streets have slowly shifted to the dark web. Over the past few decades, as the internet expanded, so did the criminal network on the hidden web. There are many websites on the dark web that leak personal information, and they will do it regardless of your identity. Not only that, but any illegal activity that comes to mind is already available on the dark web. Arms trafficking. Although countries around the world make it legal and easy for you to buy a gun, the dark web makes it even easier. No one checks your background for illegal activities because you are doing an illegal activity. However, the dark web is not considered dangerous because you can go there and buy a lethal weapon. It's dangerous because you can buy an arsenal of them. A hotbed of stolen identities. If you haven't wondered before, there is a reason you've been seeing countless anti-identity theft software commercials over the past decade. According to a report from 2014, 17.6 million people in the United States got their identities stolen. Your info, including banking info, credit cards and passwords, can be sold to anonymous buyers on the dark web, and the perpetrator will probably never be found. Even your lost ID can be sold on the dark web, as long as someone is interested in buying it. You can hire a hitman. You've probably seen movies that depict countless ways of arranging a hit on someone, but that's usually not the case. The dark web allows you to order a hit and be completely anonymous about it. It also allows you to hire people for any illegal activity you can imagine. Scary, we know. Are you in need of false documents? You got 'em. False documentation was a serious issue even before the dark web became extremely popular, but it has made access to them even easier. Whether you need a new birth certificate, social security cards, passports or IDs, you can get them within a few days, sometimes even hours. It's abundant in Bitcoin. Cryptocurrencies have taken the world by storm, mostly due to ease of access and the ability to trade them from anywhere in the world in a matter of seconds. Bitcoin, one of the most popular cryptocurrencies ever, is expected to take over the global economy in the near future. This makes it a desirable luxury, and there's an abundance of those on the dark web. It's run by the US government. That's right. The Onion Router software needed to run the dark web is sponsored by the US Department of State Bureau of Democracy, Human Rights and Labor. So, how come the nation that has FBI and CIA fighting crime across the globe is sponsoring the place where some of the nastiest things imaginable are happening? That is a good question. Were you familiar with any of the facts we mentioned? What do you think about them? Of course, if you know more, feel free to share them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon for more notifications.
We'll show you everything worth knowing.